Welcome back to the Quiksilver Pro France, where we saw Joan Deroux just advance over Kanoa Igarashi. Kuiper along with Peter Mel. We got another matchup in the lineup. Michel Bourez is going to be wearing the red jersey. He's a top seed versus Matt Wilkinson. Heat for Matt Wilkinson. Up and riding right now. Hooks off the top on the backhand. Wilco off the bottom. And he's going to start that backhand rhythm that we get so accustomed to seeing down the line. A little bit of a warbly wave, but Wilco doing a good job keeping up with it. And looks to want to stick through here to maybe get into the shore pound. Looks like he's going to make the connection there. Switches direction, nice redirect. Banks off the whitewater. Multiple turns there for opener for Matt Wilkinson. And Peter, we were talking about an important heat for Wilco. He's got to come through this heat if he wants to stay on the championship tour.
Great rhythm from Wilco on this. Not the biggest of set waves, but he chose this wave because it gave him the scoring opportunity to rattle off a bunch of moves, which he has done. You're right. He had a 9th over there at the Rip Curl Pro Bells Beach and a 13th at the Corona Bali Protected. And other than that, 25th. And to be honest, his demeanor for having that kind of string of 25ths and being where he was last year or the last 2 years, he's actually carrying himself very well. You know, you should be proud of him. He's surfing super well, is what, you know, so there's no real true issues. It's just breaks, you know, and I think that he keeps his head down. Things are going to change for him. I mean, that's part of professional surfing. Sometimes you're going to get on a heater and you're on a streak and everything's going your way, and sometimes it's complete opposite. Starting to dissipate, and with that, you know, he had to kind of whip that turn just to try and get a little bit creative. Let's take a look at this replay here. It's 2.0. That patented backhand vert attack.
I think it was a small score of a 2.6. Here we go, live action. Michel Bourez, the Spartan. Triple pump off the bottom, up into a lip line glide, and let's see if he can find more open face. Struggling right behind, and that's going to be a no-go. So he's just going to make his way on in, probably just to get picked up by the ski.
So this lower tide, the swell, kind of on the pulse. It is still solid out there. Big right-handers. Take a look at this replay. He had to pump down the line. He had to find this first section, and the wave still ran off without him. He stuck with it, but at that point, the waves flattened out. He was hoping maybe for some inside there. See those waves feathering, you feel like, oh, you got to get out there to it, and all of a sudden it backs off a little bit. So it is a huge playing field.
Michel Bourez looking for a place in the lip, gets a carve in. See a little warble on the face, up through a lip. Beautiful glide through that section. Comes around the corner again, bangs it a little bit late, but is able to hold on. 5.53 would be the numbers that Bourez would need to take the top spot over Matt Wilkinson.
Have a lot more water moving. You know, there's rip on the face, which makes the waves a little bit more challenging to ride.
Well, Matt Wilkinson, a couple rips off the top there, late for that third turn. Looking to better his low of a 2.6. The number checked in for last of Michel Bourez, and that's a 4.33. In the lead, important heat for Wilco as he looks to re-qualify for the 2019 tour. The Spartan, Michel Bourez, finds a left here and bangs it off the top once he gets out to the open face. One more time out and just catches that rail. Unfortunately, it looks like he was on his way to a good number, Peter.
Take a look first at Bourez, who's holding a 2.57 as his low. Beautiful first move. Tags it straight up and then goes down on this next move with the wave in these last two heats. The trend is heading right, which we see Wilco doing right now.
And Wilco, again, getting that backhand rhythm. A little drift on that second turn. He can't fit in a third one. So,
felt like he could have thrown it up there. I mean, he was on his way to a beautiful rhythm with that lower tide on the inside. Loses its energy in the shallow water. I think two beautiful snaps, but almost could have thrown it up there.
Yep, and we're going to be waiting for that number for Wilco, who is currently in the lead. Beautiful shot from above. Wilco finding a left. Bam, into the air, and incomplete there, Peter.
Yeah, and you see how that wave just completely disappeared. You know, there's only one section against the grain lefts. With all that water moving, it just pulls the energy off of it into shallow water.
Julian Wilson started off the year at snapper, and then after that, it's all been
Brazilian flags. Speaking of which, one of them is coming up in that next heat.
Here we go. Bourez, nice little float there to begin. Working his way down the line. Beautiful gaff, showing some power through that full turn. Gets another gaff in there. You can see the body torque for the Spartan and finishes off right vertical. Boom.
There's his best wave. So for Michel Bourez.
6.0 was his knee. 6.07 actually is his knee.
Had to do that type of move to get back to the open face. I mean, he's down the line, up and over, carries the speed very, very well. Straight into this beautiful arc. That is a trademark snap from Michel Bourez. Another one, the big upper body torque back into the pit, and then a vertical snap. So very, very clean wave executed from Michel Bourez. If you watch the slow-mo here of that technique of his body up top, torquing his body through, brings that back arm all the way through the maneuver, driving through it. Definitely will be his best wave.
Wilco wants to answer back here. Nice hook off the bottom, throws the fins off the top and can't put it back down.
A lot of room in the middle of the scale to play with. And it gets dangerous when you start getting so high compression up into the high range of the scoring, because you don't have enough room to differentiate waves. You know, of all the things, sometimes when you look back at judging, you know, what is some of the faults is that we do get compressed at the very top. You get underneath, oh, another one.
Here we go, Wilco. Can he find an exit from the cave? And just the avalanche of white water shuts the opening down. He's not going to see daylight on that way. Bourez sweeping off the bottom, snapping off the top. And no more opportunity for Michel Bourez. Prones in, and he's going to wait for another ski ride.
Wow. Look at the score in for Bourez. So Matt still out front, and this information will be relayed to Michel Bourez as we watch another replay here. So the barrel not even factoring in whatsoever, and then this one here, just the one move. So you, again, throwing down comparisons to what's already happened in this heat, that's not going to change anything either. So big moments in this back half of the heat from Michel Bourez. I think Wilco understands that 10.4 is not a safe bet.
Background is that as a beach announcer, and what I do in that situation, I just keep on repeating it over and over and over again, hoping that the surfer will hear that information. Don't know if he heard it, but he's going to perform right now. Michel Bourez snaps off the top there. Some yardage on that bottom turn, has to nurse through that second turn and kicks out. A little bit of disappointment in the body language there for Michel Bourez.
Scores populate that is definitely going to be the best wave of the heat. This is a replay of the last wave.
Yeah, and you can just see the frustration when he finishes this wave, Pete. You see that? He's just,
Well, you can just see overall, he knows that there hasn't been the best of heats for himself.
Winding up off the bottom, Matt Wilkinson snapping off the top. Smooth face there. Dagger through the lip on the backhand of Wilco. One more time for the finish. And a whitewater float for good measure. Feeling good about that one. Looking to better his 4.9. He's not done yet. He's going to stick with this one through the short break, redirecting to go left this time, Pete.
Well, we saw that from his first wave, and it capitalized a little bit of an extra, you know, maybe half point. And every half point counts.
Let's see what the finish. Good job just sticking with it. Workmanlike on that wave. So great job by Matt Wilkinson, and looking a little brighter for him to move out of this heat at the moment.
Yeah, you feel like that one is definitely going to improve, at least on his low score. Look at the replay here. Much cleaner wave. And he's moved to the south slightly, which is gotten himself out of the rip, and much easier to surf when that face is like canvas. Got that rhythm going, and even climbs the whitewater here, and then he sees the energy still solid, so he stays with it and hopes that maybe the inside will garner a few more points. I would say it probably added a little bit to it. Always does when you finally get a maneuver on the shorey. Although the emphasis definitely on the outside sections.
Just saw Michel Bourez paddle for a wave and loses priority. He's going to have a second swing at it. Has to go on this one. Pulling in, and there's going to be no exit for Michel Bourez.
Yeah, even with those turbo fins he's got, it's not going to get him through that one.
Wilkinson's going to hold his position, and the heat is going to end, and the lead, and an important heat. Accomplished victory for Matt Wilkinson. Great job. We're going to have Brazilian surfers coming up next. William Cardoso versus Miguel Pupo, bringing in Joe and Potts for the call.